Firstly, you're going to need a bit of black 260 with a bubble of perhaps about 3 fingers, and then tie that directly onto the end of a white 350 and snip off any excess. Next, we're going to take an orange 260 with a good tail, perhaps 7 or 8 fingers or so, and we are going to make two to 3 finger pinch twists. However you prefer to make pinch twists, I quite like to twist 2 bubbles together and then just wrap the tail round. I find that's a particularly useful method when I'm doing pinch twists at the beginning of a balloon. Squeeze your 260 and you want to make a bubble of about 5 fingers or so. Take your nose and wrap that into the orange balloon. Give your orange balloon a squeeze and we're going to make another bubble to match this one. And twist that into the 2 pinch twists at the back of the head. So this is what you've got. Give your white balloon a squeeze and you're going to make a bubble in the white to match these 2 here, and bring that across and wrap into the 2 pinch twists at the back of the head. So this is what you've got. We're now going to make 2 cheeks out of the white balloon. So make 2 loop twists, each loop twist perhaps about 5 fingers or so, and then wrap that into the neck at the back and make another cheek to match the first one. Mine's a little bit larger. I'm just going to adjust that. So you've got 2 cheeks like that, and then just wrap that into the back. Make sure your 2 orange pinch twists are positioned at the back of the head. Next, we're going to make a loop twist with the orange balloon of perhaps about 5 fingers, 6 fingers, and wrap that into the neck. And then we're going to make a second loop twist that's going to come over the top of this first one. I'm going to wrap that into the pinch twists. You can break off the rest of this orange balloon and just wrap it in and tie it. So just adjust everything. So you've got your 2 cheeks coming out of the side, you've got your white balloon coming down, and you've got your 2 pinch twists in the back, and you've got your largest orange petal twist, flower petal twist going over the top. Next, we're going to make a pair of eyeballs. So you're going to need a black 260. Just need to put a little bit of air in there and twist off a bubble that is perhaps about 2.5 fingers, and turn that into a pinch twist and just tie that. Trim off the nozzle, and we're going to twist the 260, and you can see what's happening here. We're creating a bit of slack here, so this is what we need. That's just going to pass between the bridge, the bubbles that make the bridge of the fox's nose. And then you need to twist a second bubble to match the first one of about 2 to 3 fingers. pinch twist that, cut off the rest, deflate, and then just tie that to secure that bubble, and cut off the rest. So you've got 2 eyeballs, and we're just going to squeeze these underneath this loop twist here, and we're going to position those there. Next we're going to make the fox's bushy eyebrows, so take a white 260 and we're going to make these in exactly the same way as we made the eyeballs. So twist off a bubble of perhaps about 3 to 4 fingers. We want some nice bushy eyebrows. Pinch twist that and then tie the nozzle there, and again we're just going to twist until we've got a nice long piece of uninflated balloon here. We'll go a little bit more and a bit more and a bit more still. Okay, and then we're going to make a second bushy eyebrow. Okay, so again, twist off a bubble that's 3 to 4 fingers, bring that together, snip off the rest of this, and then just tie in that bit of excess there and cut off the scrap. Pull it tight and cut off the scrap. So we've got 2 nice bushy eyebrows, and again we're going to feed these through here and just position them above the eyeballs. Next, for our fox's ears, we're going to take an orange 260 with a 7 to 8 finger tail. So give the balloon a squeeze and you're going to wrap it into the cheeks. Like so. And you need to have the balloon coming out of the side like that. Give the balloon a squeeze, and you're going to want to measure up a bubble of perhaps 7 to 8 fingers, and another bubble which we want to take into the back of the neck. It needs to be a little bit smaller, perhaps 5 fingers or so, and then we're going to wrap that into the neck, and then we're going to create another ear to match this one. To make our fox's jacket, I'm going to be using a 260 in maroon with perhaps a 6 finger tail. So give the balloon a squeeze and make 2 3 finger pinch twists. So make 2 3 finger bubbles, bring them together, wrap the nozzle round, and then take the nozzle and just wrap that through a couple of times, pinch twisting those bubbles. We want to twist off the neck, a bubble of perhaps about 3 fingers or so, and we want to wrap that into those 2 pinch twists there. And we want to give our balloon a bit of a squeeze and a stretch. Okay. We want to decide how long we want our fox's body to be, and I'm going about there, so perhaps a handspan's width. And I want to pinch off a couple of pinch twists of about 3 fingers or so. I'm going to bring the maroon balloon back up and make another bubble to match this one. to come back down and make a third bubble to match the first two. And if I give this a stretch, I just might be able to get the fourth bubble, and I can. So I'm going to twist that off at the top and wrap that into those two pinch twists at the back. And I'm going to leave this bubble at the back here. It isn't causing any problems, and it's probably stabilising the fox's neck a little bit, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Next, I'm going to break off this balloon and tie. For our fox's arms, I'm going to take another 260 maroon, and this has just got a little bit of tail. We're not going to use all of this balloon, so it's not critical. And we want to measure how long we want our fox's arm to be, and I'm probably going to go with that. So that's that big. And then I'm going to wrap this into that pinch twist cluster at the neck. And I'm going to give the balloon a squeeze, and I'm going to make another bubble to match that other arm. And I'm going to break this off. Next, we're going to make our fox's paws. So you're going to need an orange 160 with a good tail, perhaps of about 6 or 7 fingers, and we're going to twist off just a little 2-finger bubble, and then we're going to do a series of 4 1 to 2 finger bubble pinch twists. And then we're going to break this off and tie it. And then we're going to take this and we're going to wrap it into one of our arms. So we've got a little hand or paw there. And do the same on the other side. Inflate your 321. You need to pull the 321 very far down onto the nozzle as much as you can here and inflate from the tip. Okay. We don't want the tip completely inflated. And in fact I want my leg to be just a little bit smaller because this is just the thigh for the fox. And make another one of these. So take your 321s and wrap them into those 2 pinch twists here and cut off the nozzles. I do that with the other balloon as well. To make the lower part of our fox's leg, take a 216 orange with a good long tail, 6 to 7 fingers, and tie it directly onto the white 321. Decide how long you want the lower part of the leg to be. Twist off a bubble, mine's about 5 fingers or so, and then you're going to make 4 2 to 3 finger pinch twists. Okay, so we've got the lower portion and we've got a foot. So we're going to break off this orange balloon, save the rest, and tie. We're going to use a little bit that we saved to make a knee for our fox. So take the fox's leg, wrap this around quite snugly and twist off a bubble, and then make a 2-finger pinch twist. Cut this off and tie, and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're going to make our fox's tail. You're going to need a 350 in orange with a good tail, and you're going to need the end of a white 350. I've perhaps got about 7 or 8 fingers there, and I've tied that directly to the orange 350. You're going to need just a little bit of white 260, and we're going to use that to just wrap around the end of the tail, like so. Cut the end off and tie those 2 ends together. Then we're going to take our tail and we're going to decide just how long we want this tail to be, and I think I'm going to go for about that long, which is 8-9 inches, something like that. Trim off the end and tie. Next, we're going to take a maroon 260 with a good long tail. We're not going to use very much of this balloon, so it's not critical. You're going to wrap the nozzle into those 2 pinch twists at the base there, and we're going to use this to bring those legs under control a little bit. Bring this round to the front to finish off the jacket and help position those legs. And then we're going to twist off the bubble and we're going to wrap it into those 2 pinch twists. Next, take your fox's tail and just wrap into those 2 pinch twists at the base. Our fox does carry a walking cane, and to create this I have a silver 260 and a black 160, and I'm going to double stuff the 260. So I'm going to insert the black 160 into the 260. You can double stuff 160s, but it's a little bit tricky. If you get to this point and you're struggling to get the balloon to go down any further, just stretch the nozzle of the silver balloon up to the top there, and then pull down like this. And you should find that's gone quite a long way down. Take your pocket pump and inflate the black 160. And it does feel quite tight. You get something that is a little bit fatter than a 160, but not quite as big as a 260. And I quite like this effect with the black inside the silver. You can do another colour of a brown, would do quite nicely, but I just like this effect. So we're going to create our gentleman's walking stick, and you're going to create a bubble of perhaps about 5 or 6 fingers, and then make a double pinch twist, each bubble to be about 2 fingers. And you will need to be careful when you're squeezing the balloon, because it does feel very tight. Okay, so we've got a very simple handle for our walking stick, and we can judge how long we want this to be. So I'm going to go to about here, and I'm going to twist that off, and I'm going to snip off the end right at the very tip. Leave this long piece at the end because we can use that as an attachment point for our base. And here we have our completed fox sculpture, and popped him on a base of 2 tiers of 4 clusters. The bottom one sized to 6.5 inches, these sized to 6 inches, and with the usual sand weight.